Hello again and welcome to my channel. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. I'm just jumping on today to do a project share of some of the mini albums that I made leading up to Christmas. So if you're interested in having a look, stick around and we'll jump into opening them up. Okay guys, I created these mini albums before Christmas. I actually made the bases to these back in, I think, around about August. And whenever I'm making anything, I very rarely make anything just once. I tend to make multiples of a particular project. So I actually got the base design for these mini albums from Tiffany from Let's Get Scrappy. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. And the album itself is really easy to make. And the page inserts are made from a 12 by 12 sheet and they're really quick and easy to make. So I'll link both those videos below in the description box so that you can jump over and watch her tutorials because they're not my design. I did do a little bit of a tweak with the inside front and back covers. I changed those, but all the rest of it I ended up just following her tutorial on how to do the pages and her dimensions for the cover. It is the lay flat method cover, and I like that the best. I find it really easy to make and sturdy, solid, and folds. It folds really nicely. The paper that I used for these albums is a little bit interesting. So actually, before I jump into that, I'll just tell you the dimensions. So the albums themselves are 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches, which is 16.5 centimeters. By the spine is 1.75 inches, so around about 4.5 centimeters. And the great thing about these mini albums is that once you've done your mounting, because you can see here I've got a gold mount first with a 1/4 inch difference, and then I've got a vanilla or cream mount with 1/8 inch difference. So it basically means that my decorative paper, my pattern paper, can be is just under 6 inches. So it means that you can make these albums and use them for a 6x6 paper pad. So it's perfect, and they hold quite a lot of photos. So I think I did a bit of a rough count, and each album will hold close to around about 50 photos. So for a small sized album using a 6x6 paper pad, you get a decent amount of real estate to put photos into it. Now, the paper itself, I there's a bit of an interesting story about that. I I am a bit of a bargain hunter when it comes to craft supplies. And one day when I was down visiting family in New South Wales, we went for a bit of a drive, and we ended up going to Swansea. And there's a local craft shop in Swansea, and I picked up this paper by We Are. I think that's We Are Memory Keepers, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's a We Are paper type of paper, and it's called North Pole. And I picked up 10 sheets. They just had, in a clearance section, they just had 10 sheets of paper in a plastic sleeve, and it was for $1. So essentially 10 cents Australian a sheet of paper. So I just thought, oh, I can't pass that by. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. But I ended up picking it up for $1, and I used it in this project. And as you can see, I ended up using pretty much all of it. I have a few scraps That's all the scrappies that I have left. But I ran short because I was wanting to do two albums. So I had to go rummaging in my stash and find a few other things. So I ended up using this Bow Bunny sheet of double dots, and it has, here's some scraps from it. It has polka dots on one side and a zigzag pattern on the other. So that's all I have left of two sheets of that. And I also had to find a few odd sheets from somewhere else. So I ended up pulling in a few sheets from this Vicky Booten Evergreen and Holly collection that I purchased from Spotlight here in Australia, and you can see it was $34.99, but it was marked down, and I'm pretty sure I got it for $10 for the paper pad, and it's got 48 sheets with 24 different designs. So two sheets of each. So it's got 48 designs, 24 pages, with two sheets of each. So 48 sheets. And I used, from memory, I think I used about three sheets with some cut apart, with some tags and things like that. So I just kind of filled in some bits and pieces where I could. But it was tricky finding paper with the same theme. Then on with the problem with that paper that I did pick up so cheaply, I didn't have any ephemera with it, and it didn't really have any cut aparts. It had one page had some sentiments on it, but other than that, it had no ephemera. So I ended up just deciding to do the front cover out of just two pieces of ephemera out of the Minte White Christmas, which is these two here. That was all I used out of this because the styling of it is different, but I think that these, with them just being mostly flowers, I think that I got away with it. Well, hopefully I got away with it. You can let me know whether you think I got away with it. But overall, I think that they turned out okay. Inside, they're pretty much the same. I'll just show you, and then we'll just walk our way through one of them. So, so as you can see, the papers are identical. I did the same thing on each thing. The only thing that is different is that I had very little sentiments to cut up and use. So that's the only thing that's different inside. So let's walk our way through one of them, and then we'll have a little bit. We'll have a bit of a look at the front cover first. So as you can see, it's got a ribbon closure. I have given you the measurements. Like I said, it's 6.5 by 6.5 with a 1 3/4 inch spine. So 16.5 centimeters by 16.5 centimeters, and then a 4.5 centimeter spine. And then on the front, I just, as I said, I mounted a few times, and I die cut out two circles. So I cut out a glitter circle and a cream or vanilla colored circle. Then mounted that piece of ephemera from the Minte range on the front. I put a little bit of Winker Stella on the leaves and some glossy accents on the flowers, and stuck some gems on it. I also die cut out these flowers and made them. They've got a little bit of dimension to them. I'm not sure whether you can see that. Die cut out a few pine cones and some leaves, and I just stamped a small sentiment, peace and joy, and punched that out with a punch, and made a few little clusters and stuck a few little flowers in here and there, and that was it. There's nothing else on the front, on the sides or the back. I ran out of supplies. So that's what they look like. Now on the inside, this is where it was a little bit different than Tiffany's tutorial. I ended up putting a waterfall on the front, and it is a stepped waterfall. So it starts smaller, gets a little bit bigger, slightly bigger again, and it has a magnetic closure. Then here we have just a little card that I put some cream paper in, cream cardstock in, and you could journal in here, or it will fit a 3 by 4, I think. Yes, so it's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, so it'll easily fit a 3 by 4 photo, a couple of 3 by 4 photos in there, or it's a good little journaling spot, and it is magnetized, so when it goes in there, it stays in place. I also, I'll just grab this out of here. I also just, where I could, you can see these little sentiments. I tried as much as I could to use those sentiments to put a little bit of ephemera throughout and a bit of decoration, but um, as I said, I had very limited supply. So space there to put a photo. You could definitely put a larger photo through here. And because this is 6 by 6, essentially, the page, you could put a 6 by 4 photo on here with just trimming it down just slightly. Each page has a tab, a pull out, and it's just a photo mat. I don't have anything on the back. I didn't want to make it too thick, so I just put a mount on one side of those. And then here you can see that got a photo mount that slides in here in a pocket. It is a gusseted pocket, so a few things would fit in there. And space here for a photo. And then that's essentially one page. So the hinge on here is a 3-page hinge. So I made 3 separate pages. Each page insert is made out of one 12 by 12 piece of cardstock and just folded. So like I said, I got that instruction from Tiffany, and I'll link that video below. That makes putting the album together really, really easy. On this page, it's got a little pocket here. I just cut that out of the sentiments sheet, and I just used cardstock here, or paper, decorative paper. I didn't put a gusset in this pocket. And then here, this pocket is gusseted, so a fair bit of things could fit in there. You could tuck in a few photos or some little tags, or a bit of memorabilia from the Christmas event that you're documenting, and lots of space for photos here. Once again, it's got a tab pull out there. On this side, I just put a little tag that came out of the Vicky Bouton collection. And once again, another pocket made out of decorative paper with no gusset. Another spot there to do some journaling and space for photos. And then this is the last page insert. Once again, space for photos, and got a few photo mounts inserted, and another pull out tab. I think this is left open. Yes, it is. So you can tuck a little photo under there, and on the back page it has another little card with space for journaling or photos, and it'll fit a 3 by 4 photo, and that is magnetized, so it'll stay in place as well. Then lastly, the other thing that I did differently than Tiffany's tutorial is that I put a pocket in the back, a large gusseted pocket, and you can see here that I have a gusset on the top of the flap. It is actually around about 5 millimeters or half a centimeter, which is around about 1/8 of an inch. And this pocket is also gusseted, so it means that we can put a few things in here. So at the moment, I just have a card that you could use this as a card if you wanted to, and put a photo in it and give it to somebody. or journal something in it that you didn't want visible. Another photo mount, and those photo mounts would hold, I'm pretty sure I did them so that they would hold yeah, they're a 5 1/4 square, or 13.5 centimeters square, which means that they'll hold a 5 inch square photo or a 4 inch square photo really well, and another 3 by 4 photo mount as well. So lots of space to keep quite a lot of photos or journaling or memorabilia from your celebration. And like I said, I think it will hold approximately um, just under 50 photos if you're just putting photos in. But yeah, lots of little places to tuck and hide some things. And I think they turned out quite well for what the resources that I had. And yeah, I'm happy with them. They'll actually end up being gifts for people for Christmas. And yeah, tell me what you think. Did I do well with stretching the DSP or the decorative paper to get it to work? And tell me what you think of the front covers. I always spend quite a bit of time on the front covers, and trying to fiddle with them and get them to work, but I think that they turned out quite nice. So thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I'll have another project share coming up in a few days' time. Thanks. Bye now.